Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Bling Bling Jam YouTube station. Today, I have no other than my good friend Darren Mortiboy from Northern Ireland, back by popular demand. He'll be back at the Bling Bling Jam. We're excited, but this is all about him. I have interviewed him before, but this will be another interview and even better. And for the folks that are watching this for the first time, you'll hear about him. And for folks who are not, you'll hear more about him. It's always great. So, all the way from Northern Ireland, I'm losing my voice here, is no other than Darren. Welcome, Darren.
How are you?
Doing
How
good.
are
How
you,
are you
Steve?
doing today?
Yeah, everything's great, mate. I'm looking forward to this interview.
Oh,
Yeah.
same here, same here. Let everybody know. I know I introduced you, but in your own words, who your name, where you're from, what your balloon business is called, and how you got started. And I'll be quiet for a second.
So, hold on. There we go. My name's Darren Mortiboy.
Are you sure?
I I trade under the name Mr. Twister Balloons, and it's when I first started, I wanted a really catchy name that was different to everybody else, and I thought, wow, nobody's going to be called Mr. Twister. It rhymes,
Yeah.
there's no one going to be called that. There's thousands of them. So
I love the names. I'm Mr. Balloon Wizards, but I love the name. That's
yeah,
a
so
great name.
it was, it was just off the cuff. Everything at the start of this balloon journey for me was just it wasn't really thought through. It was just off the cuff. It wasn't a real plan. I didn't plan on becoming a balloon artist. So um that's why it was Mr. Twister. I really wanted to re-go and rebrand myself as something else, use maybe my name, I don't know, but nah, I just stuck with it. Everyone calls me Mr. Twister when they see me in the supermarket, or if I'm
Right.
walking about, the kids see me, it's Mr. Twister, so it's
Right.
kind of stuck. It's great. I like it.
I like it too. It's on. I like the logo. It looks awesome. Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
So much fun. So, Darren, tell everybody, and again, I know I asked you this before we had an interview before, and I kind of forget too, but also, like I said, people watching this for the first time and or a refresher, and everybody finds you very interesting anyway, which is great. And I hope that everybody does find all these interviews interesting. And please, by the way,
Mm.
show Darren some love and put some comments and likes and all that, and he'll be watching us as I will be. But how did you get started? Like what year and what prompted you to get started? In balloons. And again, you are originally from England, but now in Northern Ireland because,
Yeah.
yeah. So explain all that. So,
Yeah. So I'm English. I'm living in Northern Ireland. I came across with the army. Um, there was a kind of a civil war here for a long, long time, for about
oh yeah,
30, 40 years. And it was Protestants and Catholics kind of don't get along. Britain, they see Britain as an occupying force in Ireland, and they want to reclaim Northern Ireland as part of the Southern Ireland, and have it all as one. Um, so if you're in the States, you probably know, you just think as Ireland is Ireland, but there is two countries. One of them is part of the United Kingdom, the other one isn't, and it's part of the European Union, which the UK left a couple of
oh,
years ago. So yeah, so I came over here. I met my wife. I transferred then to the Royal Irish Regiment, which is a local regiment which just deals with operations in Northern Ireland, and saw my time out. So at the end of it, I'm now Mr. Twister Balloons.
right.
And we've had this conversation before, haven't we, Steve?
Yeah, yeah. How did you start with the
How
balloon?
did I start? Well,
And how long ago?
2014, okay.
Mhm.
And we get on great with our neighbours. It's like a cultural thing in Ireland. Everybody will talk to everybody. If you
Oh,
pass somebody
really?
on the street, you probably end up having a conversation, even if it's a complete stranger. Um, and
Yeah.
I know a lot of people find that hard to believe, coming from where they come from. Maybe it's not as open, but it is here. Um, so our neighbours are really good friends of ours. Their kids are the same age as our kids,
Right.
and we found ourselves over there having a drink, having a social drink.
Yeah.
The the lady next door, she's got
How many? No, I'm kidding.
yeah. Well, you see, after 3 or 4, you don't really
I
care,
know.
you know. But have you ever heard of Bailey's? It's like
Yes.
a liquid
Irish
liquor.
cream, of
Yes,
course.
Irish cream. Yeah. Well, the lady next door said, "Do you like Bailey's?" And I said, "Yeah, yeah, I don't mind it." Thinking I was getting a small glass of Bailey's, and she poured me a pint, literally
Yeah.
a pint glass of
Wow.
Bailey's. I'm like, you know, wow,
Funny.
it's crazy, I mean, who does that? But anyway, so you can imagine what kind of party this was or social gathering this
Yeah.
was.
Fun. Fun.
Yeah, it was fun. And she mentioned at some stage that the balloon artist or the balloon twister, who she'd booked for the following week for her precious daughter's birthday, had cancelled.
Oh yeah.
And I said, and before, long time before, I had bought like a really cheap balloon kit for a
Yeah.
couple of pound, and I tried to make balloons for my daughter's birthday, and it didn't
Yeah.
really work out. So that was I'd had maybe 5 or 10 minutes playing with balloons, and that was me an expert. So I said, Katrina, I says, listen, if you can't get anybody, I'll do it for you, right? And it was completely rhetorical. I didn't mean it.
Yeah.
It's like saying sorry, innit? It's like, I don't mean it. I'm just saying it, so
Yeah.
It's, uh,
You were being nice and just chatting, not thinking of
yeah.
what was going to
And
happen.
the following week, sorry, the following day, I was lying on the sofa and I was really, really trying to deal with my hangover.
Yeah.
And the wife had heard a knock at the door. She'd answered it. It was Katrina, and they came in together. And the wife says, "Can you remember how you promised?" The wife was doing it in a way that she knew it was a sarcastic way. You know what I mean? And she goes,
Yeah.
"Can you remember how you told Katrina you was going to make balloons?"
Yeah.
Well, she wants you to now. And I was like, yeah, yeah, okay, Katrina, yeah, it's not a problem. And she goes, will you? And I said, yeah, yeah, of course I will. And then I was like, oh no. So I'm gonna have to find some balloons from somewhere and learn how to make something, keep the
Yeah.
kids happy. And that's how it started. Um, I learned just a basic dog, a giraffe. I think there was a couple others, but I had about 4 different things for the kids to pick from. Like a
Right.
wand, and the kids loved it, and a balloon sword. And to be fair, even to this day, kids just want a sword so they can hit each other.
Oh
I'm
yeah, for
the
sure.
other balloons are just to impress the parents, But yeah. So I was at that party, and then 2 or 3 people wanted to book me there and then, and I was like, I'm only doing this as a favor for my neighbor. And then I got home, and somebody at the party worked in my local church. So they said, listen, would you come down and do this for our fun day? And I said, yeah, of course I will. So I'm
Right.
not going to say no to the church,
Of course.
So I did it for the fun day, and I literally got about 4 or 5 bookings. And every one of them,
Wow.
again, I was saying, listen, I'm only doing this to
For
help
fun.
out. I don't
Yeah.
do this. And I was literally sitting at home, and the light bulb moment came on. I was like, wow, I could make a fortune doing
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Literally done 2 gigs with like 4 balloons that I can make. And I've got potential 7 jobs I've got offered.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just started learning some more and more balloons, and then just increased and got more popular, increased my
Yeah.
prices, and here I am now traveling
Yeah.
all over United States, the UK, and
Yes.
Europe at balloon conventions, and
Yes.
it's great. I mean, who wouldn't want to do that? So,
Exactly.
and we've spoken, Steve, haven't we? I know I'm going on a bit here,
No, this is
but
good.
we've spoken in length. And what I do now is I still work for the Ministry of Defence.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And although I could probably give that job up and go full time doing this,
Yeah.
I kind of need it
Yeah.
because when I left the armed forces, it kind of messed my head, and I couldn't adjust to normal civilian life.
Yeah.
Whereas this job now, I still wear a uniform, I still carry a weapon, I still,
Yeah.
still have to take orders and everything out. So it's kind of,
Balances you out.
yes, it balances my head, so it keeps me normal, if you know what I mean. So it's
Yes.
not too much of a massive imbalance change, and I kind of need it to keep me sane. If I think I gave it up, the mundane life would get too much, and I'd probably start,
Right.
I don't know, being aggressive. I found out when I left the forces, I was really aggressive. I know I'm working with kids, but
Yeah.
yeah, it kind of made me somebody I didn't want to be. Whereas now it kind of affects that balance and the balloons and everything else. So yeah,
Right.
my head's in a good spot. So that's where I am. So that's what
It's
I
an
do.
incredible story, and
Yeah,
we never know what someone's gone through, what
yeah,
balloons do for
yeah.
people. It's
Yeah, it's
incredible.
addictive. I've always said balloons are like
Yeah.
heroin. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
advocating drugs.
Yeah.
I'm
We're
not saying
addicted
I've
to no, no,
taken
for
drugs,
sure.
but
Right.
it's almost so addictive, isn't it? That
Yes. Yes. Wow. So tell us, okay. So that happened, you got to ask for the neighbor and all that kind of thing happened, and you start realizing, okay, this is like a business. So then what was next? Like you said, okay, I gotta after the giraffe and the dog or whatever, how do I
yeah,
build better balloons and where do I go from here with this opportunity of making money and making people happy?
yeah. Well,
And,
you know
and
what?
filling that void in your balance from your
Yeah.
job.
Well, luckily with my work, I work 2 day shifts, two night shifts, and then I have 4 days off. So effectively, I got 4 days off, and during them night shift periods, I've also got the day off there, really.
Yeah.
So I've got quite a lot of time off to do a side hustle, a
Okay.
second income,
Yeah.
which I see this as.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm a big advocate of if you wait for the perfect time, it's never going to happen. So really, you've just got to jump in and do it, and
Yeah.
you learn as you're going along. I mean, you've got to ask yourself, what's the worst that can happen? Worst that
Yeah.
can happen is I don't get paid because I've made such an awful job. But no one's ever going to do that because no one's going to be that rude. So
Right.
yeah, I just jumped in. I just went online and I found a couple of artists which I still admire to this day. One of
Right.
them was Michael Floyd.
Mm.
Um, he had a lot of content on YouTube.
Yes.
There was Holly Nicole George, who I think
Yes.
it was Holly Hopper.
Hmm.
Um, I can't remember. Yeah, and the other one was Mr. Bomer's Balloons. He had
Hmm.
some great motorbikes. And basically, I went online. I learned Michael Floyd's guitar, and I was
Oh
blown.
yeah.
I was like, "Wow! I can't believe I'm making a guitar out of balloons. This is amazing." And it's invaluable. I still make that guitar at weddings and stuff like that for the mums and dads, the air guitar and stuff. And Mr.
Sure.
Bomer's Finding Nemo, his wee orange fish, clownfish. I couldn't believe it. I was like, holy, this is the most incredible thing I've ever seen in my life. It's like a clown. It's like Nemo made out of balloons. I can't believe it. And I just
Right.
went and made it. And I was showing everybody. I was taking photographs. I was showing everybody. I was like, wow, this is incredible.
Right.
So obviously, I was really, really slow and I couldn't
Yeah.
add them to my party. But Holly Nicole George had some really quick line worky stuff, which
Yes.
transformed my balloons. And then, before I know it, I had half a dozen to 10 different designs I could offer at birthday parties. And
Sure.
also the absolutely amazing um um what do you call it? The superhero by Cody Williams
Hmm.
was amazing. I couldn't believe it, and I still make that today. And I've got it down to a couple of minutes. I met Cody, and he showed me different tricks you could make to make it quicker.
Right.
And yeah, so that transformed my balloons. And before you know it, then I started getting a name. I started making my own balloons because if I
Yes.
couldn't find something I wanted to make, I
Your,
just
your, your,
designed it
when you say
myself.
your own designs, yeah. How
Yeah.
quick did that start happening for you?
Um,
Because a lot of people watching this, we all start off as formula people. I was
yeah,
told that a long time. I was like, what do you mean I'm a formula person? But I was, as we all are, like you're learning from other people. But how quickly did you figure out that you can create your own designs?
sorry, my little dog's
Your
down there.
puppy, yeah,
So
yeah, and we can show the dog if you want. She's
yeah,
adorable.
we're showing a bit. Yeah,
Yeah,
she's that piece. So yeah, it all came about because obviously I can't sleep at night, so I get massive insomnia,
yeah,
and like 2 in the morning, I could get up and make myself a cup of tea. I'm a tea holic. I drink dozens of
yeah,
cups of tea a day, and I'd put Netflix on, and I would grab
oh,
my
yeah,
bag of balloons, and I would just start messing about. And you know, um, if there's nothing that I can find that I wanted to copy off YouTube for my balloon business, then I'll
mhm,
just come up and design it myself. And eventually, then I don't even look. I look at clip art. So if I want a design of Stitch, I type in Stitch cartoon clip art and look at the cartoons versions of Stitch.
mhm,
Find one I like, get my balloons and just copy it. Just try and make it out of balloons, and then till I find something that works. And the thing is, when I'm coming up with balloons, it has to flow. So you can't just make a section, break it off, make another section, break it off, because then you may as well just stick it all together with glue. You know what I mean? So it has to flow from the head to the ears. The balloon just has to flow naturally, if you know what I mean. Uh,
yes,
so yeah, so that's what I was doing, and then before you know it, people like Graham Lee was noticing that I had some really good stuff. People in Amsterdam and over in the States as well. So then I was starting to be asked to come to conventions and show that.
yeah,
And that's happened really quickly, over the last 6, 7 years or so. And yeah, I'm loving the journey that I'm on.
yeah.
And I do get a lot of good feedback. Some of it I kind of just think, really? Are you talking about me? I'm just doing what I do,
Of course,
I
your
don't
balloons
think
are
I'm that
amazing,
great.
Aaron. Amazing.
Yeah, but yeah, sometimes I just have to pinch myself.
Yeah.
I've been in conventions with amazing balloon artists, and you think I'm teaching alongside these. It's incredible.
You are one of
So
the best balloon artists.
so yeah, it is a good thing, and I enjoy it and I like it. So long may it
Sure.
last.
Sure. Okay. So let's go back to your balloon business. And I know I always ask these questions on the interviews because you're great. You watch all my interviews. You
I
tell
love
me.
them. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Thank
really
you.
really
Thank,
interesting.
thank you. Thank you. So you started doing events. You did obviously the neighbor's party, a church, and from the church you got a couple events, and then you started
Yeah,
your balloons. So
yeah.
I understand, like all artists, whatever the gig was, you'll like, I'll do it. But have you focused on any particular markets and gotten good at that, or okay, since that time? And you may have not have, and or do you want to in the future?
Um, yeah. Well, we have quite a lot of big events over here, and I was always um, whenever I booked a party,
Hmm.
booked an event, sorry,
Hmm.
I would always have asked if I can take pre-made balloons and sell them,
Yeah.
and maybe give a lower rate. And the reason I want to sell them is not everybody wants to wait an hour for a balloon. So
Yes.
I've got my menu board. It's got maybe 20 items on it, but it doesn't have Stitch on it. It doesn't have, some of the more popular characters. It's got this really quick frog, cat, a dog, all that kind of stuff, right? Because you're talking
Sure.
hundreds and hundreds and maybe over 1,000 kids. So then what I would do is have an area where you can, if you want to just break the line and come straight out and purchase a balloon, then you can do, or you can stand in line and wait for a free one. It's like a toll bridge, I suppose, isn't it? You've got a free road that would
Yeah.
take you around. But if you want
The
the quicker
fast lane,
shortcut,
the fast
yeah,
lane. Yeah. Yeah.
then you have to pay for that. And
Yeah.
and believe it or not, you might think that an organizer would say no because
Uh,
we're already paying you.
yeah.
But you'll be surprised. And I take a lower rate as well. So
Wow, that's
I give
interesting.
them a lower rate. I say, look, I can do it. I can do your event for this price if you let me sell balloons, or
Hmm.
I can just do it for that price. And it really worked out. I mean, I was making another 200, £300 on top of my fee.
Sure.
That was really good.
That's a brilliant idea.
Yeah. Uh, and I know people are probably sitting there thinking it's not going to work for me. But do you know what? If you don't ask, you don't get. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
100%. That's a great idea. What I
Well, Jesus Christ said it, didn't he? He said, "Ask and you shall receive." So I
yes.
mean, so if he's saying it, must be true. You know.
Yeah.
But
So was
yeah,
it, who did you say? Oh,
Jesus,
oh,
he said,
got
"Ask
it.
and
Got
you
it. Got it.
shall
Got it. I didn't hear
receive."
you.
So I mean,
Got it. Sure.
he doesn't tell fibs.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
That's great.
and another couple of things is whenever I book a birthday party. So we're going to talk more in depth about this when I'm at the Bling Bling Jam
Yeah, of course. But for the
about
people
the
watching
things
this,
I'm
they
teaching
want
and
to
why
know
I'm teaching them.
about you, and that's just trying to get
Yeah,
them familiar with you. Yeah.
but one of the things I do is I've always said, and I've said this to you as well, Steve. I said, yes, you can be a great balloon artist. You can learn a bit of decor and combine the two, right? And you can have all the marketing and you can look professional, and that's great. But if you can't sell, you've got to be able to sell as well.
Yep.
Um, so that's one thing I would improve if you're not great
The
at it, you
business
need
side
to
of
be able
things.
to
We're in
sell.
business.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You can have the best looking car on a forecourt, but if you can't sell it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You narrow your market down. So every single time, I mean, Patrick Van der Ven said this best. He doesn't just give a price. He took when people ask him for, is he available or what is his price? He'll go into how he's going to create memories, how
Yeah.
this is going to look great on social media and blah. And he'll come up with this long spiel, which basically makes it sound like if I don't book this guy, it's the deal of the century. So,
Yeah.
and then he'll come up with a price, and he gets very little objections to that price because he sold himself basically, rather than just go, yeah, I'm so and so this, and then wait for them to say yes or no.
Yeah.
But so I've started incorporating that whenever I deal with customers. I would always try and talk to
Yeah.
them rather than text them or message them. I'd always
Exactly.
say, if somebody asked me for a price, I would always say, phone me and we'll discuss it,
Yep. I do the same
because
thing. Yep.
it's easier to
Sell
FO you
yourself. Yes.
on a message
And
than it
those are
is
shoppers. You want to
person
get
to
them on the
person.
phone.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's easier to dump a girlfriend on the message, isn't it? See you in
Yep.
front of it. It's like, oh yeah,
Yep.
no, it's me, it's not you. So, it's the same
Aaron,
with
you
sales.
get it. That's exactly what I
Yeah.
do. 100%.
So yeah, you've always got to talk to them. But
Yeah.
I start now, every single customer I speak to, and it wants a birthday party, I'm like, yeah, great. I also offer these themed numbers, these
Yeah.
themed number stacks, or a table display. It looks great with a cake. It's going to look amazing on a photograph.
Yeah.
Blah 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 blah, and it's only an additional blah blah blah.
Exactly.
And if you don't ask, no one's going to ask you
You're
for
not going
that.
to get it. Yes.
Yeah. But if you can convert 3 out of every 10 people, if 3 out of every 10 say, yeah, that's a great idea, we'll have that, then it all stacks up, at the end of the month. And you've got them quiet periods through the week to build
Mhm.
these as well. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to build it the day you're doing the party. I mean,
Yes.
it'll last a couple of days, especially if you use high shine and high float and all that.
Yes. Yes. So you're
So,
upselling really well, which is
yeah,
a thing.
upscaling.
I love
Yeah, it's
this.
all about upscaling,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But your skill, the balloons will only take you so far. You've got to be able to sell it,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
I've got
so
to really
Darren,
work on that. Really work on
yeah.
upselling.
Yeah, no, this is huge and that's great. But there's no specific market that you were trying to target, I'm assuming. That's okay.
Oh no, yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, I did an event and it was a science week.
Yeah.
And we were making all kinds of balloons, and just because a lot of people get sidetracked if they're doing a science festival, they've got to make sciencey balloons, or if they're doing St. Patrick's Day festival, they've got to make green, white, and yellow balloons. It's all going to be that's a load of rubbish. If a kid wants a unicorn, kid wants a unicorn. You know what I mean? Kid
Exactly.
wants Batman, he wants Batman. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter what the event is. Just make
Correct.
them what they want.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, you can make everything red, white, and blue if it's the 4th of July anyway. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So, yeah, so I did a science festival, and there was a lady there who was doing 2 shows, one in the morning, one in the afternoon,
Mm.
and she was charging an absolute fortune. And I says, "Yeah, is it limited?" She goes, "No, there's literally a science show every fortnight in Ireland." This is the Republic of Ireland.
Really?
Throughout the
Wow.
whole year, because kids aren't going into science, doing science courses at uni. It's kind of unpopular. You know, kids want media and stuff like
Yeah.
artificial intelligence and blah blah blah. So it's suffering. So they've pumped a lot of money into trying to get kids enthused with physics and chemistry and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just me messing about with Chat GPT, and I said,
Oh, yeah.
design me a 45-minute class with balloon models for um, a science show. And there was a lot more prompts. It wasn't as easy as that. And I really got a lot of content of what you can do with balloon models in and around science. So
Sure.
speaking to a few people, now we're putting a show together. So then Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays that are quiet, I'll have a show to offer, and it'll be around balloon models as well. So it'll be really, really cool. And I'm looking
Yeah.
forward then to pushing that out and getting that out, um, you know,
So
into
you haven't done that
typical
yet.
schools. No, I'm not. I'm working on it. It's not
Okay,
something you
cool.
can just throw together and it looks
Sure. No,
stupid.
no, exactly. And the show
Yeah,
thing is so
I've got to make
amazing.
sure the first impression, my first impression is a really, really good
Yeah.
one,
Yeah.
because they might not book me again. They might say, "Oh, it's not what we're
Yeah.
really looking for." So I want it to
Yeah.
be as close to as polished as I can. Obviously, I'm not going to spend too long on it because somebody else will jump in there. But
Right.
I just want to polish it as close as I can, practice it so I'm proficient with what I'm doing, and then I'm going to roll that out.
Yeah.
So that's the next big thing for me is doing
Okay, so
sciences.
that's what you
Mm.
so that's your direction. That's awesome.
Mm.
So obviously networking like Nick with his shows and
Yeah,
Debbie, and then of course we have
mm,
Vlad who you're going to meet that knows about creating
yeah,
a show. This is all going to be helpful for that too. But
yeah.
I also know something about you too, Darren. You're an incredible
Oh,
balloon artist. You're an incredible balloon artist, and based on some of the things you just said, you've also learned from teaching at conventions what people want, and a lot of people
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
common sense that the quicker balloons are where it's at as well in terms of money and creating a show. I
yeah,
mean, again, whatever people want to do, saying, of course, everything's
yeah,
good, but is that I don't want to speak for you in your words, but I know we've had some conversations. So
yeah.
does some of the science shows specifically and or creating a show come from some of these aha moments about moving the line and or getting to more kids? Or I don't know. I want to hear your take.
No,
I don't know.
it's
So,
just I'd be busy weekends, but not through the week. If I'm not working, then I want to
okay.
fill that gap. And I know just with talking to people that there's a big incentive in Ireland to throw a lot of money into promoting getting kids into science. And what a
Oh,
great way! I
brilliant.
mean, I can build a big scientist in the background. The kids will be like,
Yeah.
I could dress it really up. So
Yeah.
that's what took that. But yeah, no, I've done big characters. I've done the car.
Right.
I did this really
Oh,
wicked
yes.
car, right? But it took about an hour and a half to make,
Yeah.
and I could do it in under 40 minutes. But it's
Yeah.
yeah, if you've only watched the download a few times, it's going to take an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And I kind of got thinking, is anyone going to sit and make it for an hour and a half? You know, for what they're going to use it for?
Yeah.
So I came up with quicker ones, which only took 10 minutes. And then I came up with auto sticks, which
Oh,
is balloons you
yes.
can do under
Yes.
3 minutes.
Which are
Now,
brilliant.
of all the downloads I've got quite a lot of downloads out there. So
Hmm.
out of all the downloads that I've ever sold, or auto sticks was by far the quickest and made me the most amount of money. I mean, it just,
Yeah. They're
you
great.
know, yeah, it made £3,000 sterling in the first hour of me releasing it.
And
It was
Darren,
insane.
and you deserve all that because
Yeah,
everybody made a whole lot of money using that
yeah.
at their events. So thank you
So
for that. Yeah.
so it was insane, and it got me thinking then, and talking to real big giants of the industry like Nick Rotondo and stuff,
Yes.
guys who are making serious money
Yes.
making balloons. And when you talk to them, and through my own experiences, um, you know, you can make 5-minute balloons on your line, but the people immediately behind the kid you're making that balloon for, I think that's great. 4 or 5 down the line are thinking, I wish he'd just hurry up. They're not paying attention. They just want to get out of that line, get a balloon and get out of the line, right?
Hmm.
So I don't want to become a sausage factory just churning balloons out as
Yeah.
quickly as I can as well, because that's boring and it's not for me.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I came up with this idea that, at the British Balloon Bash, I was teaching a class, and it was line work balloons that don't look like line work balloons, And if you get what I mean, so the line work balloons, but they look a lot better than line work balloons,
Hmm.
and you can do this by just altering the just upscaling from 260 to 350. So if you're making a simple balloon dog,
Yeah.
make it with 350s. It looks like they're getting much more than just a basic standard balloon dog. And you can do this with balloon swords, all kinds of stuff. So yeah, I'm focused now on making teaching line work balloons that look really, really cool and quick
Yeah.
to make, because that's what people want, right? That's
Yes.
what balloon artists want. And it's great because you can make a little girl doll that with distorted head
Yeah.
and distorted hands, and it looks amazing. It looks amazing. When
Yeah.
am I
No,
ever going to
for
make
sure.
that for my customers?
For
Maybe once
sure.
or twice. Not going to use it.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing, because every balloon has its place, right? But
Yes. Yes.
yeah, but ultimately, I'm not in my business now to impress other balloon artists. I'm in my
Right.
business to make as much money as I can. And Nick
Exactly.
said it once. Nick said something that stuck with me, and he said
Yeah.
a guy had asked him. A guy had said to him something along the lines of, "Your balloons are really simple," and I
Mhm.
think it was more of a put down.
Another balloon artist. Yes.
Yeah,
Told
but
me this.
Nick answered, as Nick does.
Yeah.
Well, look, you get your phone out and show me
Your bank
your
accounts.
balloons, and
Yeah.
I'll get my phone out and show you my bank balance.
Yes.
And that's true.
Exactly. It is true. Laughing all
There's
the
a
way to
place
the
for
bank.
everything. Don't get me wrong. I
Yeah.
love to make balloons. I made a Volkswagen Beetle recently, and I
I
put it under
love that.
mine.
Yes.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, I love the comments and love people saying how great it is and
Yes.
that. And it does well for my ego, but it's not
Sure.
really doing any. Yeah, it was a one-off special build that somebody wanted for their partner. And that's the only reason I did it. But
Yeah.
am I making them on a weekly basis? No, no, not really.
Right.
So
Right.
what I'm teaching at Bling
Yeah.
is some really cool balloons that you can make within about 10 minutes. They're not line work balloons. You could use
Yeah.
them for restaurant balloons, but I'm going down that market of upselling. So you get
Yes. I
a
like
cluster
that.
of balloons, and you put a balloon on top with a number 6 or a number 7, their favorite character. They look really, really awesome,
Yeah.
but they don't take too long to build, because obviously if you put a distorted figure on that,
Yeah.
then you're going to spend 3 hours making that
Yes.
balloon, and you'll want too much money for the customer to
Yes.
buy.
I
So you
love the
want to you want to
upselling
be able to
aspect.
build yeah, we want to be able to build your number stack in less
Yeah.
than 30 minutes to an hour, but
Yeah.
you want it to look awesome as well.
Exactly.
And what we can do that other people can't, especially these new people starting, they just
Yeah.
buy some some dollar store balloons and put a foil number 6 on it, start pushing it out,
Yeah,
undercutting you. Well, I always, you know, if you're doing that with a twisted balloon, it's not easily replicated. I mean, you can't just replicate a really awesome twisted stitch or bluey or something like that. You know, you've got to have a certain skill level to make it. And
exactly.
and I always tell the parents as well, I say, stay away from the foil you know, see the people who make the numbers and
Yeah,
then they put a big foil character. I said, it's not environmentally friendly. My
right.
balloons are biodegradable. It doesn't decompose. So, you know, and
Hmm.
just play on that a wee bit. So, yeah. So that's what I'm teaching at the Bling. I've still got some really cool
Oh
line
yeah,
work stuff.
we'll get more into that in a minute. But no, I
Yeah.
love that. Thank you. But I love on the interview, Darren, that you are sharing about upselling in such brilliant ways. You're
Yeah.
thinking out of the box logically. So thank you. And for the people watching, the theme has been, and of course, artist. It's like you said, it's amazing. We love art no matter what, right? And like Vicky Kimmel had said, I was chatting with her, Kimmel, about things that are sellable. She's like, well, anything is sellable, and she's right. If you have a buyer, it's sellable. I agree with that 100%. We're not saying that, right? But we are saying what's sellable on a regular basis, right? And that's what you're talking about here. So
Yeah.
so thank you for that. But it's so cool. And waking up to that too. It's funny when I started in the balloon, upping my balloons, you will. I did balloons when I was 10 years old as a magician, the one balloon zoo, and I was working 10 shows a week. And a lot of the balloon artists were not, right? So it's also another good sign of moving along, creating a show. I'm circling back to you're reminding me by these things that you're saying. So thank you for sharing all that. Okay, Darren. So, was there anything else you want to share about Mr. Twister, in terms of your with everybody watching this, so they can know you a little bit better, and or anything that you want to work on with your business that you might have forgotten? We might have said it all.
Yeah.
And but anything else you want them to know about Mr. Twister? This is about
Okay.
we want everybody to know
Yeah.
you a little bit more as much as possible. That's the purpose of the interview. And of course, everybody watching this, please, like I said, give some comments and questions. Show Darren some love. And he is one of the most genuine twisters and one of the best twisters, I believe, in the world. But you also are humbled and have a lot of common sense. And people need to hear that. So that's that's what they're hearing it now. But I'm saying
Yeah.
anything else you want to share is what I'm saying.
Yeah. So what I learned at Bling Bling last year was that if you win an award, whether it be
Oh
first,
yeah, we'll talk about this.
second, or
Yes,
third, doesn't
yes,
matter. You want to
yes,
go home, you want to email all your local newspapers and radio stations.
yes,
So I won the Entertainers Award last
yes,
year. And to give you an idea, there was only 3 people in the competition.
yes,
So I was getting first, second, and third anyway.
yeah.
Right.
Right.
And
I don't think there will be this year. Every
yeah,
year is different, but yes,
yeah, I was on the TV. I was on 2 radio stations. I was in 3 or 4 different newspapers. It got me a lot of different, a lot of exposure and a lot, all for just for sitting there for half an hour and emailing these people this,
yeah,
it was great. And the way I didn't say I won a competition at the Bling Bling Jam because that doesn't mean anything to
right.
anybody. What it did mean was I won the Entertainers Award at the entertainers capital of the world in Las Vegas. And that
Yes,
makes in people's head, they see me walking up the MTV Awards with a rousing crowd going, Darren,
yes,
Darren. You know,
yes,
it wasn't. It was just me jumping up on stage, going, cheers, thank you very much, and then jumping back
yes,
down. But in their head, when they're thinking Las Vegas, the Entertainers Award, oh my God, this is a big deal.
yes. It
So
is.
you need to play on that. You need to use,
Yes.
and I think Steve said last year, he said the TV companies were coming down. There was about 5 people in the jam room. I couldn't believe it.
It's 4 o'clock in the
Yeah.
morning.
Yeah. Get
Yeah.
down, get your face on the
People are
TV. What are you
tired. Yeah.
doing? You're
Yeah.
trying to improve your business here.
Yes.
So Yeah, that was good. And I got a really good slot only for Katrina, but she
Yeah,
was brilliant. She was fantastic, you know.
yeah, you
She's
guys both made it on TV.
yeah, she was
Yeah,
amazing. So
yeah,
she got the prime spot. But I
yeah,
did get on for about 2 seconds.
yes.
But
And
yeah,
there's
that's
this
cool.
year too, because they usually come every year to our event because
Yeah.
they know us. Yeah.
So
So so
this is
Darren,
my apprentice.
oh
That's my apprentice.
yes, she's doing good. So
And yeah, another thing is
yeah,
what I've learned over the years is I used to stand with a guy. I'm not going to mention his name. He's a friend of mine, a balloon artist, and he would make very simple balloons. And I was just being a right jerk. I was trying to show off and try and show my skills were much better than him. And I think we do it sometimes. I think we compete with each other without noticing. And it was a real
yeah,
horrible thing to do. And I was doing it, but people wanted him more than they wanted me. And I learned very quickly that it's not about the balloons you're putting out. And it's yeah, it is to
right,
an extent, but it's how you entertain, right? So um, you could be doing one balloon dogs and one balloon swords. If you're cracking jokes and you're really engaging with that child, they'll all want to engage with you. If you're
exactly.
just going, what do you want? Spider-Man.
Yeah,
There you
exactly.
go. What's that, mate?
Right.
Yeah, Pikachu. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Who wants it could be the best balloon in the world. I want the guy who's having a joke with me and having
yeah,
a laugh. So yeah. So my recommendation is yeah, learn on your entertaining skills. And you don't have to be a master juggler or a master magician, but it would help to learn some magic tricks. But
yeah,
yeah, just learn some jokes, clean jokes, fun jokes, non-offensive ones. And just learn to have fun with the child in you know, a roundabout way with the parents. And I've engaged with the parents as well. I always engage with the parents.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah.
Let me circle back.
When you're if you've got two friends and one's a fun friend and one's just a straight laced friend, you always want to
Yeah,
be with that fun friend.
yeah,
It's just the way it
exactly.
is. And it's
It's
the
good
same with the
energy.
kids. I want to be with him. He's really fun. So that's always to keep in mind as well, because ultimately, we are on show
Yeah,
and we do want people to book us for a
yeah,
party. If we're boring, they're not going to book you. Simple as that.
yeah,
Balloons can be outstanding. Doesn't matter.
yes, yes,
So yeah, so there's a lot of things there that we've
yeah.
spoke about today. I don't want to
No, for
overload you
sure.
with.
No, no, this is good. I
Well,
just want to share what I know about
yeah,
you. And the thing
yeah,
is, again, people that are watching this, uh, brilliantly saying, Darren, uh, everybody has strengths and weaknesses, and we're all
yeah,
trying to improve. And
absolutely.
hats off to you for the entertainment award that you got. And I know at Bling we talk about these top dog awards and diversifying yourself and stretching yourself. And what you're saying is there's a lot of people also that are line twisters, and that's okay. And and they don't necessarily interact, and that's okay too. But if you can, and you're going to be more
Mhm.
valuable and you're going to be
Yeah,
more in demand. And this upselling thing that you talked about, it's brilliant on so many levels. So
yeah. Just ask.
yes.
Just ask.
Yes, and getting people on the phone, I do the same thing
Yeah.
because you
Don't ever message somebody a price.
correct,
Just say,
correct.
listen, when you get a free time, can we discuss this over the phone? Uh, it's so hard for them to say no over the phone. Well, it's not hard. I mean, people will say no, but it's harder. And
Yes,
you can sell yourself better over the phone. You sound like a human being.
yes,
So you get them on
and
the phone.
yeah, and the thing is, some of these things are common sense. But we live in a world today that people don't like to talk to people. Or a lot of the decorators I talk to, the deco twisters, they really are just like, oh, I just do everything online. I don't
Yeah.
talk to people. I got thrown into
You can't be shy. You can't be shy when you're working with kids, can
no,
you? I mean,
no.
you're in the wrong job. You know what
No,
I mean?
exactly. It's almost like two twisters,
Yeah.
on two levels. You learn how to talk to people a little bit better. And if you are, let's say, a twister becoming a decorator, right? The decorators are more business minded, but
Yeah. Oh yeah.
they're
Definitely.
doing it. A lot of them are doing it a different
Yeah.
way because people are price shopping, so they're doing everything online.
Yeah.
So I got in this guys group they put me in a chat thing, and they're all great. They're doing great, but they have a different take on some of the training they're getting from some of these coaches, and that's okay. But where people they're not talking to people on the phone, they go, I don't have time for that. I'm like, you don't have time for that. I'm like, you need to make the time for that, and that's how you get good at it. But the other thing I want to share about you, Darren, is you are so much part of understanding the relationships of other people in the balloon world to learn these
Yeah.
things and chat about them, like talking to Nick, talking to me.
Yeah.
We're brainstorming and stuff, and
Yeah.
a lot of artists don't do that, and they wonder why what they are where they are, right?
Yeah.
In terms of
Yeah.
financially, right?
If you want to learn the best balloons in the world, then go and find the best balloon artists and seek advice.
Yeah,
If you want to make money, find
yeah,
out who's making the money and
exactly.
seek advice.
Because a
If
lot of
I'm
them are
going to
not
the
making
gym to
money.
train on
Yeah.
weights, I ain't going to ask the skinny guy in the
Yes.
corner. I'm going to ask the big, bulky guy because
Right.
he obviously knows what he's doing because he's got there.
Right.
So, yeah, I would never take advice off anybody who's not doing it. You know,
Exactly. And there's people that
and
are
it's
teaching
crazy.
it, people are teaching it in other countries, other areas, and they have some good stuff. No question. Okay. But if you were not in the mix or haven't done it, what can you teach? And and it's
Nothing.
when you have a conversation, you
Yeah.
can tell what people are talking about. So
Yeah.
it's interesting. And you're talking from experience that actually shows. So
Yeah.
I was so glad that you did the that you promoted yourself, and I know we talked about that about the Entertainment Capital of the World award, and Katrina did the same thing. Was it a radio show? What was it again that you got when you did that back when you went back? If you're okay with sharing that, and what did that
Yeah,
do
it was a
to
it
your
was a local
business?
TV program,
Yeah,
and then I was on two radio stations, and then about four or five different newspapers. You know,
brilliant.
even one of them, yeah, one of them called me
Yeah,
the balloon bender,
that's great. So
which like all the lads at work was like, because bender in the
yeah,
UK means like you know.
yeah,
So like all the guys in the UK then just all my
I
friends would
love
just
it. I
yeah, they
love it.
called me the balloon bender for a while. Then I was like, oh
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
proper stitch me up. But
yeah. I'm so
you
happy
can't
that
buy that.
happened.
Even so, I mean, I got a Blue Peter badge for being on Blue Peter. I still wear it on every time I do a gig. I put my Blue Peter badge on because the mums and dads
Sure.
will go, "Were you on Blue Peter?" And I go, "Yeah, yeah, yeah."
Yeah.
Of course I
Yeah.
was. Yeah, and
No, that's right.
but
That's right.
yeah, I've always said I think where the money is today, where the future of the balloon twisting is today is
Yeah.
decor twist.
Deco twisting, yeah. Which is
Yeah,
what we do at the
yeah.
originator here. Yep. Yeah.
If you can do it, I'm not saying go out and start making all this elaborate decor stuff. If you don't have the time, you've got to be really business minded.
Yeah.
I'm not that business minded. I know that I probably would
Oh,
have
but you
stock
are
ordered in time.
Darren, I think
But
that you have a
yeah,
lot of common sense
yeah,
and a lot to share. And you also, like I said,
yeah,
you're rapping with the right people, right? And
yeah,
that's the key. And we want people to understand that too, because when we live a life of abundance and more of the right people share amongst each other, we all win because we all make more money and our
absolutely.
clientele
That's right.
gets taught as to what our real worth is, and that's a big difference in the industry of the industry of the world, and you're right on top of your game. So
Yeah, exactly. Find out who the top 10 earning balloon artists are in the world and just
yeah,
do what they're doing. Just
yeah,
copy them. Just ask them for advice. Every balloon
yeah,
artist is going to give you advice. No one's
yeah,
going to turn you away. Not at your convention anyway. But
right,
yeah, if I can help anybody out, I certainly will. You know, if
yes,
somebody wants a tutorial, I'm not going to charge them for it. I'm just going to give it to them.
yeah,
Um, and the jam room is where it's all at. I'm over in the anagram corner
yeah. You're sponsored by
this
Anagram,
year.
yeah,
Yeah,
mostly co-sponsored, and
yeah.
we're excited
I'll
about
be
that.
promoting the anagram balloons.
Yes,
If
yes,
anybody wants to come over and learn something, then
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
free for the
yeah,
whole convention. I don't mind if I have to show it 1,000 times,
yeah,
as long as somebody goes away with happy
yeah.
and more confident with learning
Yeah.
something. You know, that's what
So
it's
let's
all
talk
about.
about the rest of Bling Bling and about why you think people should come in your senses. But here's the thing. Darren came last year. I was so honored to meet him, and I'm so thrilled you're coming back again, Darren. We absolutely love you. as a human being and as a twister, you're amazing. And this year it's Summerween. So we are having a lot of Halloween themed things because we want to make sure that we have something that we can say what happens in Vegas doesn't stay in Vegas. You bring it home with you to make more money with, and
Yeah.
just have more conversations with. Is there anything else you want to share? I think you kind of share your classes, but if there's anything we missed about what you're teaching, whether it's in person or virtual, which people can still sign up for, and if they haven't been to Bling Bling Jam this year or next year, whatever it is, why you think they should come, in your humble opinion.
Yeah, well, we've talked about my classes. One of the class I'm
No, we
actually
did.
teaching a Deco class. It
Yeah,
was a last minute thing. So I'm just going to show you our basic, very basic decor with
yeah,
twist.
yeah,
Can look so much better than just sticking a foil on top, or just how you can transform it. And
perfect.
it's something I've always said. I've always said that decors should never fear new decors coming onto the market. They should always fear twisters
Yeah,
becoming decor. You know. But I mean, I loved Bling. It was my first year last year.
yeah,
I loved the atmosphere. I loved how everybody just gelled and wanted to get on. You know, it was all about balloons, and that's what it should be. And it
yeah,
was a really good atmosphere. Um, and the people there were great. The vendors were great, and it was just a really cool atmosphere to be in. And what I like about it is, well, there's no big egos there. So, I mean, look at the guys who are going. You've got Sam, you've got Joe
yeah,
Mark. I mean, these guys are legends. You know, you ask them to teach you something, they'll they'll go out of their way. They'll break their back to show you something. You know.
yeah,
So yeah, it's a really good convention. If you're not going, then what are you doing? You know, if you either
yeah,
take your blue business serious or you don't. What do you
yeah,
do? You know, you have teach the same stuff you taught last year for your clients, or do you
yeah.
stick out? You know what I mean? And it's
Yeah,
all
I got
tax
a question
deductible.
for you.
What are you
I got a,
doing?
I got a question for you because you come from far away,
Yeah,
and and
9 hours on a plane.
yeah, you're right. And I know you know how to cash in on your winnings, obviously,
Yeah,
using the and because again, Blaming Jam is not visiting Las Vegas. We are in Las Vegas all the time. And so we can use that. We are the longest running balloon convention, the entertainers capital of the world. Which what you win when you win, you use it to promote yourself, which is what you should do. So artists say to me all the time, and again, we made the announcement that we're gonna have Bling Bling at least next year in November. We'll see what happens. And whatever time you do it, somebody can't make it. Oh, that's my busy time, or I can't give up this, or I can't give up that. To me, you're busy all the time, like Nick says, and
yeah,
giving up
yeah,
something. So the thing is, when they say they can't afford it, I always say my feeling is you're not making enough money, to justify it or understand the value of Bling Bling Jam and the value of these relationships of these business things. And you shared enough of them that you know. So coming from where you came from, which again, I know you're being sponsored this year, but last year we sponsored you and all that. But still, what would you say to the artists that are saying, you know what, or they think it's just like, again, nothing against any other convention. All conventions are great. We love them all, but we
yeah.
always say Blooming does this that much better. But these serendipities of what we're talking about in terms of upping your game, being able to connect with people on your level and above in terms of thought process, in terms of the right mindset that you want to learn from so you can better yourself business wise and all that. How would you respond to that?
Well, I try and put it in a different way. Okay.
Perfect.
So when I left the armed forces, I got a little bit of money put aside, and I hadn't really got a job to go to. Right, Twitter. Hold on, just keep this dog happy. I didn't have a lot of money um, to play with, and my kids were getting to a stage where they were maybe going to be a bit too old to go to Disney World.
Yeah.
And I said to
Well,
the
you're
wife,
never
I
too
said,
old
"Well,
for that, but
yeah,
yeah.
wow, yeah."
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, so I took the money and I said to the wife, I said, "Come on, we'll book a trip to Disney World with the kids." And the wife said, to me, she says, I don't think we can afford to do it. And
Hmm.
my answer was, I don't think we can afford not to do it
Exactly.
because they're gonna, the kids are gonna grow up and not have their memories. And it's the same with the balloon conventions. When people say they can't afford to go, well, can you really afford not to? I
Yeah.
mean, what do you do? Do you wrap your business up and try something else, or what? I mean, if you're going to take it serious, take it serious.
Yeah.
Um, and it's all about, you know, I mean, every single time I go to a convention, I learn stuff that's invaluable, that, that carries me for a long way.
Yeah.
And just networking with people as well, and the things you learn. How can you afford not to go to a convention and learn all that?
Yeah.
So that's the
No,
way I
it
see
was a
it.
great, great, great.
Some people genuinely can't afford to go.
Yeah,
Well, then you
of
need to up
course.
your prices and start getting people on the phone instead of messaging them
Yes,
direct.
we want to help. The purpose of these questions and the
Yeah,
interest, we want to help you, and we're trying to get everybody to do better for your clientele, for yourself, and of course,
yeah,
we want you to come. But if anything, put a comment up about to Darren and I. We want to uplift everybody, and we want
yeah,
you to succeed. That's the whole point. So that's
yeah,
why I'm asking these questions. So a lot of
yeah. I
say,
don't know
"Oh,
if I put that across properly. I
no,
mean,
you did.
obviously there
No,
is
no,
people who can't afford
you
to go,
did. You did.
but if
You
you're on
did.
the fence and you generally can, how can you
Yeah,
not go?
yeah,
I mean,
and
this
or
is
make
in
your
Vegas as well. This isn't like somewhere boring. This is great. This
yeah,
is amazing.
yeah,
So
yeah,
um, yeah, and it's not all about casinos. When I came last year, I thought it was all gambling. That it's not. There's
yeah,
so much to Vegas. It's unreal.
yes,
Um,
yes,
I was such a good time, and I was really looked after. Michael Maffei looked after me really, really well.
oh
And
yes,
shooting around. So yeah,
we love
much love to
Michael.
him. He was brilliant.
Yes, yeah.
And yeah, and Steve's super chilled out as well. So
Thank you.
yeah, it just comes together really, really well. I liked it. So if you are on the fence, go. If you're not on the fence, don't go. But
Yeah,
then you're gonna get left behind. Simple as that.
100%. And
Yeah,
you know, a lot of people I think assimilate it with uh learning balloons, and they only
yeah,
stop at that. It's
yeah,
beyond
yeah,
beyond learning the balloon you know
yeah.
create.
It's not about the lessons. It's about the jam room. That's it. It's all
Yes,
about the
and
jam
it's
room.
about the connecting, uh
Yeah,
this kind of
exactly,
relationships, the real ones.
exactly. And
Yeah.
there's I got all Patrick Van der Ven's tutorials. Brilliant.
Yes,
Amazing guy.
he
I went
is.
to a convention where he was at, and I literally pinned him in the corner, said, show us
Yeah,
this, show us that. And I tell you, learning off a download on front of your TV screen or computer is not the same as that person being in front of you, showing you
right,
all the tips and tricks,
right,
all the advice,
right.
showing you things that go wrong and how you can overcome that. Because let's be honest,
Exactly.
when I do a video, I edit it, all the bad stuff
Oh,
out.
yes.
So
Yeah.
just knowing that if it
Well,
does
just
drop
so you
halfway
know,
through, how you
yeah,
fix it and carry on.
yeah,
I mean, there's Josh Clark as well. I mean,
yeah,
you can watch all this stuff online, but he's going to be there. You
yes,
can literally grab him, pull
yes,
him to one side, and say, right, I need next month. I've got this party. I need 4 different designs. Go, and you'll
yes,
get them. Simple as that.
yeah, yeah. People live a life of abundance and they want to share.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Of course you do. Manifest
yeah,
it. It's going to happen.
yeah. Well,
You
that's
know.
great, Darren. Thank you for sharing all that. Were there any last thoughts that or did we get everything in?
Yeah, I think I think
Okay.
rabbited on for a while, don't we?
Okay. Okay. No, it's great. No, 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 it's great. We listen, we
Yeah,
don't want these to be
yeah,
boring. We want them to be interesting. And we want you guys to comment, like, subscribe, share, but Darren wants to show him some love. Okay, because he shared from his heart here and some great information, right? Absolutely. And it's all great. And just so you know, I know Darren edits his videos. These are not edited, they're gone on just like they are, like a reality show, and they're not scripted, which is great. The only thing I do is I edit the thumbnail and the description and make it
yeah.
great. That is it. So this will air probably right before Bling. And again, this will be online for the future years, of course. And you know, if you're listening to this, like I said, we look forward to meeting you somewhere, either there and or on YouTube. And with that said, let's bling it on, everybody. Thanks so much for watching. Thank you so much, Darren. You are amazing. Thank you for sharing your time. And we'll see you really soon in Las Vegas. Take care. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.